Welcome to TradeTheMBA.com. This is John. This reports for the 18th. Well, we continue to move, made a new high there going forward. There was a lot of excitement. They passed the crypto bill, which also included not having a central bank digital currency, interestingly enough. We do note, though, that we are in positive extremes. So well, we've got the rising gold, that's fine, but now you've got the beginning of where the return criteria is going to be. Selling begins, and we're getting towards the middle late part of the month. There's going to be some more back and forth, but again, this is very slow uptick, and we all know that it only takes one day to erase an entire week's of move to the upside. But from an NQ standpoint, you can still see just barely starting to get close to where shorts even have an option of doing anything, but still cyan under red in rising shakeout. So yeah, it's problematic for those that have been crying wolf for quite some time. And the poor Fed chairman now potentially going to get a criminal referral against him for their remodel efforts. That may be a way of getting Powell to resign early. Didn't sound like it. He sort of intimated that even if the president fired him, he wouldn't go, that he has no authority to do so, which begs the question if the Fed is this, separate body, then why does the government even get to appoint anyone if he doesn't have the authority to fire the person that can be appointed by him? That's never made any sense. And the thing in the court, the interesting thing is that the Trump administration has forced those things into the courts, and actually the rulings have come through that yes, in fact, the executive that appoints these people can actually remove them. Yeah. But this is where the bureaucracy said that it couldn't be touched, and well, we'll see. But they've been pretty insulated for the last many decades, and we're starting to see the unemployment effect in those regions because of it. So, but Treasury is still floating around in this disaster zone, which is good for the market because the broader lower rate that comparative to where the Fed is certainly helping. But this is a nightmare scenario because this gets you back to your inflationary setup, and as long as oil continues to be at these elevated prices, your chances for a significant boon are limited. And part of that is just structurally been created. I mean, I remember even years ago as California began to reduce the ability of the refiners in California, you pretty much eliminated them because they made it impossible for them to do any business in the state at all. And that's why California has the highest gas prices around. You do certain things that are anti, business, and guess what? Things cost more. The euro making a nice bounce back after Ursula decided to expose her $2 trillion EU budget that even most European countries are balking at the idea of this becoming this massive, EU behemoth that wants to spend, hundreds of billions for funding the war in Ukraine, which is supposed to last for 10 years according to their budget. So, uh, but the euro situation is reflective of the dollar and this ongoing theme. But I think that it's, when you see oil rising like that, you can make an argument because it will have an impact. And gold, if oil continues to rise, should start to see some support and gain from there. But the excitement's all been in crypto because of the whole congressional passage thing. We'll see if that now that that's actually taken place, whether or not we get a fade off, the sell the news sort of effect. But very exciting from an ETH standpoint because they believe that this is going to lead to more tokenization, and that's typically been built on the Ethereum platform, and so that would be a bonus for them. And also, that's always been the obstacle. Crypto being usable as a regular transactional force has been something that has lagged for better part of a decade. So that's the hurdle. When we look at it from our 50K standpoint, the buy started yesterday, the day before yesterday, actually, and it continued all the way through. And you can see that we break out into the new highs. Yeah, zero activity from a short standpoint there. We are getting into peak shakeout here with gold rising. So we look for any fade off in that. You may just see some back and forth within there, but all pretty much right on tap. I mean, we finally have a sense that all the numbers coming through are validating that, in fact, the tariff situation is not what they had projected it would be, and it's becoming pretty clear that that was fake news. Barring any other term, I don't know what else you call it. We knew it was from day one. It just doesn't make any sense, their calculation and how they come up with these ideas. But it's okay. We just still follow it. We've had some brief little resets intraday within it, but here in the European session, uh, nothing happened during Asia right there, but we're getting a little bit of a sell-off from the European side of things before we get into the open. We get still a bunch of time left before that actually happens. But I think you're probably going to see a little bit of end of day, sell off here. We get the option expiration for typical moves, so there's going to be some volatility within that, and that's expected. The oil thing, though, definitely want to watch because it's kind of a surprise, no real impetus for that kind of a jump. So to see if there's any significant play taking place there as far as constraints go and increased demand, which would indicate, better economic conditions. And it's not a bad thing, but it certainly doesn't help on the inflation front. So keep an eye on it. As always, if there's anything relevant, I'll put it on the team chat. Have a good one. Trade well.